What's up guys, it's Road Dog Does Politics here, back with another video. Firstly, sorry to say that I've not uploaded in ages, just because I've been away on holiday for like a week or so, that's why. But I'm back now, and so the main stories of this week are mainly the last PMQs of the term, Prime Minister's questions, before everyone goes away for a holiday and a summer break. And that was as rowdy as you can expect, lots of shouting over one another and, you know, the usual balking, etc. Second thing is the news about BBC Pay. That's been released today. The amount of money that a lot of people within the BBC, their salaries and how much money they're getting paid, and a lot of issues to do with like the gender gap between like men and women's salaries, and you know whether or not it's justified or not, and you know there's a whole argument there. So PMQs today took place. It is the last one before the summer recess, so I think both sides are were really raring to go and wanting to really challenge the other side, which they did, and everyone's wanting to push their points forward, which they did. I think both Jeremy Corbyn and Theresa May were in, you know, quite good positions. They did quite well in terms of performance. I think Jeremy Corbyn is in a really good position since post-election. He has really rallied his troops behind him. Despite the differences within the Labour Party, I think they're quite well united now, and I think he's in a really good position as the leader to really challenge the Tories, which he has been doing quite strongly and really quite well, which I'm really pleased with. So hopefully within the next 18 months to 2 years he could be sat on the other side of the bench, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I think Theresa May did an okay job as well, considering the state of her party at the moment. I think the Tories are really in some trouble in terms of like their cabinet arguments within, you know, within that little group of people. I think it's really such a mess of, you know, backstabbing and other people saying different things, and I think Theresa May has really had to like give them a telling off. So when I watch PMQs, I'm really apprehensive about actually watching it, because there's something I really hate about it, and it's just the ongoing shrieking and shouting and balking and it's like I've elected these people to represent me, and it just looks like a playground, and yeah, it really puts me off, but I really try and like listen to what people are saying. But anyway, apart from that, I think the Tories, as ever, try and scapegoat Labour as much as possible, in terms of one example being that apparently it's Labour's fault that the recession happened. The global recession. Lady Theresa May, the recession was a global issue. It happened across the world as a result of unregulated bankers, mostly in America, and it is not the sole fault of the Labour Party. Labour's the be-all and end-all of everything that's crap about the world, apparently, according to the Tories, because they're that desperate. So again, Labour was challenging the Tories quite a lot in terms of you know, where's the magic money tree, 1.5 billion for the DUP, public sector pay as well was a big thing. Theresa May made a point about there being, I think she said something like, oh, we're putting in £500 billion between now and 2020 for the NHS, which I'll believe when I see. And then Jeremy Corbyn put up quite a good fight as well when he was talking about a woman's letter, I think her name was Sarah, saying that she hadn't been given a pay rise for 5 years or more, and that's been affecting her lifestyle, but she still does it anyway out of her passion for her job, for her work, and like the fact that she just really wants to do it because she loves it, which is great. So yeah, in terms of that, I think Labour did a really good job, and I think as it's the PMQs before the summer recess, I think a lot of people wanted to really push their points across and solidify their positions before everyone goes away for the holidays, and you know, anything could happen between now and the autumn. So moving on, the BBC had to release their annual salaries for their people that work within the BBC, so like presenters and broadcasters and newsreaders, etc. And there's a long list of people with their salaries next to it, and I have to say it's not your usual salary you'd expect. It's way above 150 grand. I mean, like Chris Evans was on something like £2 million a year. I think this is all sort of a ploy by the government to finger point yet again at the BBC and their charter renewal about, oh, look how much these people are getting paid, it's loads, oh my goodness, and let's point the finger away from us who we're probably getting paid way more than that, like people in the cabinet, people, civil servants who are probably getting paid millions. And we've all heard about the expenses scandal that happened a few years back and the Panama Papers. So I think it's just a method of distraction. I think it's a way for the government to sort of hide themselves and point somewhere else, which I think they're successfully doing. I think it's a way to grab headlines. There's also the issue of the pay gap between like genders, like women and men. A massive gap between like what Fiona Brice is being paid and what Hugh Edwards is getting paid. A big gap there. I think at the end of the day they were saying in the news that the BBC, it is in a competitive marketplace, and they need to keep up with other companies who are also paying their employees probably double than what the BBC pay their employees, seeing as the other people like Sky and Channel 4 and ITV, they're independent companies that get their money off commercials and advertising and marketing, etc. So they're able to pay their employees a hell of a lot more than what the BBC is paying theirs. It's meant as a shock tactic by the government, I think. It's like how much are they getting paid? It's so much more than what I'm getting paid. Oh my goodness. I think that's what it's aimed to do. And yeah, I'm really not that bothered, apart from the fact that the gap between women and men is still quite large. I think that does need to be sorted out, and that does need to be looked at. And again, I think to be fair to the BBC, some of their employees have said that they want a pay cut because, who needs that amount of money? I wouldn't be able to think of what to do with it all. But yeah, to be fair to them, I think that's what some of them have asked, which is really decent of them. But yeah, I'm really not that bothered. I think it's a shock tactic for the government, pointing the finger again, as they always do. I'm not really buying it. I'm not really that into it. So, you can think what you like about it, but as far as I'm concerned, yeah, they can just carry on as long as they keep, making amazing content, and putting out good stuff and not having advertising, then everything's fine by me. So yeah, I think I've covered most things. If there's anything I've missed out, please let me know in the comments. I really love hearing from you. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe to my channel if you would like. And I will see you hopefully not too long down the road. See you later.